Welcome back to Tru Radio. We're here again at WLVS Radio, and it's a great night. This is our first night actually interviewing our artists. We've been getting our ducks in a row, so to speak, and we've done several shows where we checked out our camaraderie and if we can work together and how things were when we worked together and getting comfortable together. And so tonight is the first night, the absolute first night where we're all interviewing an actual musician, and not just a musician. We got Just Paul in the building, folks.
Yeah. A little bit hyper. Let's get a little bit lit.
Yeah. We got Just Paul in the building, y'all.
Look at him bringing the energy to the show. That's what we're doing out here. Folks. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna touch on a couple small subjects, and then get right into the meat and potatoes. And I'm sorry to refer to you as meat and potatoes, but Just Paul.
To me,
no pause. Okay. All right. No, I'm a big no pause fan. Okay. So what we're gonna do tonight, folks, is start this off. And again, folks, this is our first show on our new platform, right here at WLVS Radio, and we're gonna talk about a few things, and then hop right into the interview. We have fresh music ready to go. And it's going to be a very exciting night. And if you're not excited, see, and Sheeta whooped. I've never seen Sheeta whoop. That was a whoop, Sheeta. So we're going to start with a little bit of sports talk, because it seems like every show we have, there's a new quarterback for the Redskins. It's just like every show. CP3. I'm not gonna do that. Okay?
You're spitting facts. So I can't even really say nothing about what you're saying, because for the second week in a row, 3 games, we have a new quarterback starting for the third game in a row. Mark butt fumble.
I saw the butt fumble. I saw the butt fumble footage. Real quick, not to interrupt you, CP3. I'm sorry. I didn't know that the man actually. I heard the name butt fumble, right? I read it because I don't know who that guy is, right? Because he hasn't played since 1988, right?
Butt fumble?
Yeah, his name is Butt Fumble. He literally, Sheeta. This man literally ran into someone's butt and fumbled.
Definitely did.
That's what he's known for his illustrious NFL career.
For all his career, he runs into people's butts?
That's what he's known for. That's the staple of his career. I mean, he did take the Jets to the AFC Championship game his rookie season.
Yes, he did.
And did, the second season did have a good run, but he is known for is the notorious butt fumble.
Like shit, his face literally hit. I saw his face hit a man's butt, and he fumbled. I was like, oh, that's real. Oh my God.
And actually at the press conference, a reporter, one of the local DC sports media, had to bring it up. And he actually took it, pretty well. He was like, it was one play is what I'm known for. It is what it is. You're here asking questions. I got to answer you. I don't want to be here. He made a light joke of like, you can throw it at me. I can throw it back at you. So I felt, a little bit better that, he's not stressed out trying to learn everything. So not saying that he's going to play well, but that makes me feel a little bit better. But going into this game, if you haven't already known, I think someone has a voodoo doll for real, because to have 2 quarterbacks go down with broken legs in 2 weeks in a row just doesn't happen. It was a fluke injury with Colt, and he's done for the season. So Mark Sanchez is the starting quarterback going forward, and Josh Johnson, who everyone is upset that they signed him instead of Colin Kaepernick. And I'm not even going to speak on that because I'm tired of talking about it. Go Google collusion case NFL, and you'll know why no one is picking this man up, because he has a lawsuit pending. It's not about race. It's not about Leonard, even though it is. But at this point, it's law involved that no one can really deal with him because he has a lawsuit pending. So the Redskins have a tough matchup against the Giants on Sunday.
It's gonna be a circus.
It's gonna be a wild game.
We already know who's gonna win.
Well, how? I don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. Both of these teams, the Giants ain't been looking good, and this gonna be a circus. Man.
Well, it's gonna be the first game. Redskins won early in the season up in New York. It was a close game as always. Redskins prevailed on a fourth quarter Adrian Peterson 64-yard touchdown.
Yes.
This game is going to be a little different because you have a quarterback that really doesn't know the offense. He knew 15% of it going into the game this past week. So he's had more time to practice, but Jay's playbook is intricate, as I've said. It takes more than a week to get into it. So he's been on the team for a little over 2 weeks now.
Carol, is the butt guy going to be playing?
The butt guy, butt fumble.
Yes,
so he's going to be starting off the break.
Yes, he has no choice.
So he's just going to go from he hasn't played since
ball to butt.
Yeah. He hasn't played since the first Friday the 13th came out.
Hey,
he hasn't played since the first Freddy Krueger, and now he's the starting quarterback against the Giants. They're not gonna give him time to learn the playbook. I'm not the sports guy, right? I don't know shit about sports.
There is no time. There is when your two starting quarterbacks go down and you have to pick somebody up off the street. Pretty much. And I said this on Sports on the Hill podcast. If you're down, when everyone was upset when we signed Sanchez, if you're down to your third string quarterback, your season is pretty much done. Because it's just too much to overcome with that, and the fact that Jay doesn't help out his offensive line as has backups, doesn't help out his quarterback by calling plays that would, benefit them, and the defense has been trying to do more by trying to strip the ball instead of tackling.
Hey, you are preaching right now, man. You better preach.
He's a sports expert.
The man knows.
This is what I do,
it's everything.
They're not staying gap sound. They're going inside where they go inside. The running back vacates to the outside.
These are all the problems of my life. This is what happens on Sunday.
So,
everything he named is all the shit you hear coming out of my house. Mother, why is
you see it's right there plain as day. It's just saying that Jay doesn't do something to counter it, but it's going to be a tough matchup. Redskins are still in the wild card hunt.
Yes, we are.
It's possible.
Yes.
I personally, I'm always optimistic, but at this point, I'm willing to go ahead and play the bugle and play taps, and I think the season.
You just gave me something, Carol.
Dang.
Okay, I'm gonna pass this off to Sheeta. Watch, Sheeta. You see how you said, but. Because butt guy is the quarterback now, and they hired a quarterback off the street who used to actually play Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1984. What? The guy hasn't actually played a game since when?
It was last year, 2 years ago. He's with the Cowboys as a backup.
But I actually played.
I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So the Redskins hired this guy who hasn't played football in 3-4 years, whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've seen different quotes. So butt guy is going up against the Giants. So Sheeta, your team can't lose.
They weren't going to lose anyway this time.
Oh boy!
We might still pull this off.
Next on to NHL, we're going. I'm not even going to get into the trash talk because I said I have no idea what to expect on Sunday.
I'm here.
If they win, I'm coming in all New York gear.
I'm sure.
Oh boy! All right. On the NHL news, the Washington Capitals, as I mentioned last week, since the return of Tom Wilson, have been one of the hottest teams in the league. They won 7 in a row. Unfortunately, that came to an end with an untimely 6-5 loss. And they've had 2 back-to-back losses where they've had a multiple-goal lead, which is uncharacteristic of this team. But teams are going to give them their best. And the game last night versus the Golden Knights, which was the Stanley Cup rematch, the Caps beat them earlier in the season for the first rematch on the 10th of October, 5-2. So the Knights, they had a little, extra with them, especially with the Caps beating them 4 games in a row and clinching the title on their home ice. They definitely had a little something to prove last night. And they took a little liberties with my man Tom Wilson. Reeves, which is their, might as well say, goon for their squad. He was taking liberties with Tom all night, trying to taunt him, trying to bait him. And in the second period, he blindsided him with a hit. It was a clean hit, but it was a late hit. And he got a 5-minute misconduct, which put him out the game. Unfortunately, the Caps weren't able to take advantage of that power play and ended up losing that game 5-3 with, ironically, Nate Schmidt, the ex-Capital, scoring the last 2 goals of the game to win that. The Caps are still in first place. They have a 1-point lead over Columbus. Metropolitan Division is always tight. They're playing well. They, like I said, 2-game losing streak, but they've won, 8 out of the last 10. So I don't see any real issue with them. And to wrap up with the Wizards, They're actually playing Atlanta tonight. Last time I checked the score, they were up by like 30. Atlanta is another sorry team in the NBA, along with the Wizards, who are 10-14, ninth in the East. They've been playing better. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Winning tonight, they'll have a 3-game winning streak, which will be their second of the season. So they're gaining some momentum. They still have some work to do, but they're playing better. Like I said, tonight looked like they were beating Atlanta by like 30. So they still got a lot of work to do. I think they still need a veteran presence in the locker room to try to get everything together. And I believe Ernie Grunfeld needs to be ran out of the city with tiki torches and some angry folks that took Ambien and they were all of a sudden,
So you're a Tea Party supporter.
No, I'm just. I'm just spreading some of their propaganda and rhetoric, but then segue into some politics.
I've never heard you discuss butts and tiki torches and the sports breakdown. I've never heard it.
I mean, sometimes you gotta switch things up.
And I'm not gonna be long on the politics thing, because we have a great guest in the building, just Paul in here.
Yeah, I've been here.
And after we knock out our opening segments, we're about to really get down into business with just Paul. But real quick, folks, okay, today is somehow like the 17th, like George H.W. Bush Day. Like, can we? I'm not trying to be rude, right? Can we just
be rude?
Can we? I can't, right? But can we just like bury the dude? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No. That's rude.
I don't I was like, okay, he passed, and I'm a very respectful political guy. But at the end of the day, I'm like, damn, he's still not buried yet. Like, what is taking so long?
Yeah.
Like, what is taking so long? And it is what it is. One thing I would say, and this is all I'm gonna say about politics, because I usually find myself, in the last, let's say, month or so, where we've been at WLVS Radio right here in the nation's capital. See that? You see what I did there? You see that, guys? And so one thing I've been doing is like trashing Trump every show, and I don't want to do that because I can get bored talking about Trump. What I would say is, no matter how much you like or dislike a former president, right? It's just there's no, when someone dies, they're dead. So who cares? I mean, I'm not saying who cares in a mannerless way, but I'm just saying who cares as in like why it's like, oh my God, he ran the CIA. The United States government runs the CIA. Like, I don't know if everyone knows that or not. There's like, oh, well, George Bush ran the CIA. George Bush started a war. That's what the government does. Name me a president who does not start a war or have the CIA do something shady. You can't do it. No one can do it. So that's one thing I'd say. The man's dead. Leave him alone. Let him go. And bash a guy who's still alive. For goodness sakes.
I mean, you said those 3 letters a couple of times, that we spoke about, but you know.
Well, the first C is with Carol.
See why
Nobody
you gotta put
seems
it
to
on
care
me?
about
See,
George Bush.
I think if it was
maybe he should have sat down with Kanye West, and he's still. I'm joking.
I think if it was his son,
That's his son,
right?
Well,
no, that's the father.
The father, but I think if
passed.
his son passed, it would have been a little different.
Shit.
That'd have been.
Twitter would have been
A little crazy.
That'd have been wild. We don't
Instagram would be
put that out there
crazy
in the
right
universe.
now.
But to be honest, looking back on H.W. Bush, looking the way the climate is now, and looking at what he did and the time of everything that was going on, and that he was a lifelong servant of this country. I had no idea, all the service he put in. But looking back on him and the time that he was in office, he really wasn't that bad. Folks want to demonize him, like you mentioned, with the drug cartels and those
Crack.
letters. Yeah,
Crack.
But he's just the figurehead of the government that was behind all of that.
This
just
is
with the migrants that's coming here now is from the stuff that the United States did back in the day in those areas that's still causing stuff to this day. So just like I said, you can't demonize Trump because he's just the figurehead of what this country has always been.
Yes, we can.
I mean, you can, but this country has always been a place where they use minorities, demonize them, imprison them, treat them badly, and then when things don't go their way, play victim, file bankruptcy, and ride off into the sunset.
That's demon behavior. Yes,
That's America. That's America.
That's a demon ass.
That's America. That's what America is in a nutshell.
And I would directly ask you, Just Paul, before we get to Sheeta P, because I'm about to do another awesome segue. Do you feel like it's more of a Republican or Democrat thing, or more of an American strategy thing?
What part of all is them making George Bush death a birthday? I mean, a holiday?
It was almost both, for real. And the segue is gonna be amazing. But what I would ask you though is, do you think it's you have people talking about the cracker, boom, brought in by Reagan, the Carroll Information Agency brought in.
Why you putting that on me?
Because you said it first on the show, and it will always be your name.
It was only those 2 times.
That's
said
it.
it 3 times.
No, that's it. No, it will always be the Carroll Information Agency. And we never mentioned it ever on Tru Radio Network until you said it. Do you think that it's a singular president thing, or do you think it's more of American politics?
I say the greed behind American politics, because it's another piece to this whole thing that we can't even really put our finger on.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it's all of that. All of those are the moving parts of this country. For real. All those are moving parts. So I think all of it. Because all politicians, and not all politicians, let me not say that. Damn, now I gotta be all, what's the name about the things I say? Some politicians.
That's funny.
Welcome to the show, Just Paul.
You gotta watch them words.
Welcome to the
baby.
show, brah.
One hashtag to take you down, baby.
It really can. It
One
really
hashtag
can,
will
man.
Take you down.
I think a lot of politicians put themselves in financial bonds with people and just resources that, whether you the president or a senator somewhere, you got your little stuff going on, and you ain't gonna stop it for nobody, because you don't want to get tricked out your position, and you trying to move up the ladder. Like, that's just how it is. It's stuff that Obama did that I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? But I try to look at the good in him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to look at the good in Trump. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying. But he tweets stuff every day to make you be like, man, even if he wasn't in the position he in, because we celebrated Trump at first.
Yeah.
Hip hop was a friend of Trump's at first.
Yeah, they was.
You know what I'm saying? But shit, we didn't have Twitter, and he wasn't using his. And that nigga be
Changed with 140 characters.
Yeah, a lot change. You say a lot about yourself on Twitter, young.
Yeah.
It really
It's
shows.
always been that way. That's just because it's more in social media. I mean, folks forget some of the stuff that he said and done. I still remember the Central Park 5. That's the first thing I think about when I hear his name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's never even apologized or came back. That's my thing. You should be man enough, if you put stuff on the record, to be able to say, I was wrong. And he's never done that. He never has been able to do
about
that.
Nothing.
Exactly. It shows how small of a man that he is. But I know we're not going to get into a Trump rant.
Woo,
So.
if we go, we getting there.
Yeah. We're not about to burn
Hey,
Trump
we
down.
getting there.
I've been burning Trump down for the last month, and I've been trying to not do it, but it happens.
Why?
But
Let it flow.
because it just gets old. It's too easy to talk about. It's too easy. It's
easy.
I would say this. You know what? The one thing about today being the holiday, birthday, or commemorative day of George H.W. Bush. The one thing that got everyone to stop talking about Bush was Cardi B and Offset. That was such an amazing social experiment to me. Because I was like, why is everybody just bashing George Bush? Like, he's dead. Who cares, right? But then it's like, oh, Cardi and Offset are breaking up, and I was like, oh, you see the segue, guys? It's happening. So Sheeta, real fast, what's going on?
Well, that's the story. Celebrity news. Dun, 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 dun. Well, really, before I touch down on the Cardi B situation and everything, has anybody heard of Gangsters Gone Wild?
Gangsters Gone Wild.
I have not.
Now, it sounds weird.
It sounds like
but
everything you see on
This
Instagram.
is what's going on, though. There's a show called Gangsters Gone Wild. So there's a guy that films crimes. He's going around filming actual crimes, like niggas getting stabbed, niggas getting shot. I mean, then there's all types of people. It's white people, black people who commit crimes, and he's filming them. He's filming
That's not
them.
illegal. How he know when the crime's about to happen?
He has to be an accessory.
Hey,
He has to be an accessory. He just happens to pop up When folks get robbed, come on, man.
So it's just that's the new show that's going on. I'm sorry, Jay.
He is wild.
That is the new show that's going on. He's been on CNN, and even some of the his friends that he grew up with, they're saying
He better stop doing that. Remember that dude that was on CNN and he was following the war in Iraq? It was almost like Gangsters Gone Wild. Because he'd go and he knew it was going to be a shootout. He'd just go. And he ended up getting shot. You better stop playing, man.
But okay, I'm gonna flip it up a little bit. Try to get more of a positive side of it, of this
gangsters.
Yeah. I was watching the show on Discovery ID body cams, where they actually have the footage of police officers in pursuit, and they putting it on TV. And it was an interesting one I watched. It was actually on last night, where it was a guy walking, hands in his pocket on his phone. He looked suspicious. The cop walked up on him, was asking him. Yeah, was asking him, get your hands in your pocket. What's going on? How you doing? Dude just kept talking on his phone, kept his hand in his pocket. The cop didn't feel right, so he pulled his taser out. He said the command to stop like 4 or 5 times. Dude didn't obey. He pulled his taser out. Was like, stop, or I'm gonna be forced to tase you. Without dude even just thinking, it's just like a natural reaction. He just turns around, pulls out a pistol out of his pocket, and empties the clip on the dude. Catches him in the neck. He gets hit like 4 times. Dude survived. He's still, doing his job out there. But I just want to put out there, everyone talks about how bad the police are and all the stuff that's going on. Granted, they all aren't bad. They all aren't good. Being from a family that worked with the police, that had civilians in the police force, I've sat down and ate dinner with some police. I've had my past, yada, yada, yada. But they all aren't bad. And they're out there risking their life in situations that they don't know what they're getting into. And they have a family at home. They have people that love them. And they're just out here doing their job. And you have people that were ready to take his life at just a thought in his mind just because he felt like doing it. And it's wild.
I'm coming up next week, everybody. Coming up next week.
I just had to get that out there. Man. It was a moving show for me.
The Republican Police Task Force.
Back to the Gangsters Gone Wild.
Now getting back into Cardi and Offset.
So Sheeta, what's the move? What's happening with Cardi and Offset?
So that's going on. But to say real quick, diplomats, to tie it back down to the entertainment, the Gangsters Gone Wild. Hell Rel is on it.
Oh man,
speaking like I used to do this and do that. No. So Hell Rel's actually on.
As soon as you said diplomats, I was like, Hell Rel.
They've been up for the week.
Oh my god!
Wow.
So he's been making entertainers have been dropping certain things on the DVD.
They better set the hell off that show.
They're I'm not gonna get into it, but this is such and such and such.
You wanna leave Rugeril alone? It's going to wherever. It's going to World Star.
I'm staying away from that.
Yeah, same here. I have a daughter. I don't have time for her.
Yeah, I'm a Hell Rel fan, so I don't want no.
I am a Hell Rel fan too. Well, Cardi B finally shows off her baby.
Everybody want to party with Cardi.
For the first time. For the first time, her little bundle of joy. But it's odd that she finally shows the baby and her and Offset are breaking up.
Oh, you don't know that's how they do? Oh, that's how they do. When it's time to, when they ain't rocking with you, the baby is a trophy, a real trophy.
Yeah.
Just Paul, I would also add, and sometimes a weapon.
And sometimes a weapon.
Oh yeah, the baby mother thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She might go. It was a shot. It was. Yeah. She might go in, but I'm hoping that this turns out to be like a publicity stunt.
I hope so too.
Well, they said that he's supposed to have an album dropping in like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, it could be because she's like, well, we're not divorced, but you're not divorced, but you're saying you're broken up. So, I believe in God. If you're not broken up and you're still married, you still can't be floating around. You know what I mean?
I would say this, and this is
breaking up with me, but you breaking up with me, but we not legally broken up.
Yeah, it's the.
I can do whatever I want.
It's the separate.
I think you can do whatever you want, but I think you still got to think.
If you're married, that's kind of different, though. I mean, if you got a legally binding contract, It's not if you boyfriend, girlfriend, okay, we're going to take some time, then yeah, you can go get it in. You still have...
You can't marry somebody else.
You can actually
you still have a bond.
You can actually get in trouble for...
Oh, you can still get in trouble?
Yep.
In some states.
You could get sued.
Adultery.
Adultery.
That's why you got to move
So
to North
it's
Carolina.
dangerous. It's dangerous.
No, I understand.
Because you
But-
can still get in trouble for adultery. What if she says, hey, he was cheating.
Yeah.
Now she gets more
Some
money.
folks do that to set the spouse up. To
Exactly.
set them up for divorce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think it's sweet.
And let me tell you, and
man.
I will say this, and it's not going to be popular, folks, and that's okay. I'm Black GOP. I say
Hold
what
on.
I have to say.
Hold on.
Right? The separated but still married smash is some of the it's the best I've ever had in my life. Thank you.
And that's all we have for celebrity news, everybody.
Those comments were brought to you by Black GOP.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, okay. Has any man in here been with a married woman? Like, I have. Two of them actually. Right?
He's a hoe.
In a sense, right?
In a sense.
Well, that's nice. That's nice to say with people's watching.
I plead.
You know, and be careful with CP3 because when you plead the fifth, that leaves the court of opinion to form their own thoughts on you. So,
I plead the 13th.
my man pleaded 13. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch away from talking about having sex with married people
Yeah.
to,
Go a little bit that way.
and we're getting ready to play a track as we bring on our guest, Just Paul. I mean, he's already been on, but we're getting ready to do this great interview, and folks, it's been a great show so far. The energy is amazing. If we can go with the intro song that was sent to the station, and let's knock that out and get this thing started.
Is this it?
All right. The intro song that was sent to the station.
Yeah.
That's the way to describe it.
What you want to do, Gio?
Let's do a quick break.
Let's do a quick
We're going to go to break right now.
quick break. Listen to some nice tunes, and we'll be back.
We'll go on break. We'll be right back.
Catch a buck shot. I got enough crap since I was a young buck, cause I didn't give a fuck. If I got stuck, I would come back to beat on motherfuckers like a drum track. I keep respecting all the bitches on the scum sack. 1994 is all about the East Coast. Thought the other shit was war. Well, it and get close to the niggas from Brooklyn, Philly to the Berry. Niggas acting illy, bustin' bullets in the flurry. Can't forget the South Bronx, Harlem and Manhattan. Then you go higher where the Dominicans be fattin'. In Jersey is ill town. Knew what they be gattin'. Jersey City and Trenton. Niggas strictly representing for the East Coast, cause I never hear enough of that shit. And I'll be there cause we the ones who got the fat shit. Bump this in your motherfucking whip if you're there. Even if you think that you can flip, I don't care. You need to take a motherfucking trip over here. But you can have that motherfucking shit in your hair in the jungle. For the jungle. The East Coast jungle. We don't dance in the jungle. If they come around, don't stumble. Jungle.
gentlemen, getting ready to perform. Just Paul.
Just Paul.
And one of his latest new tracks, Cheater's Anthem.
Give me that stool right there.
Every time I was down in the A, I was with your best friend. Declining your FaceTime. Nighttime, I was with her. We was bumping and grinding, bumping and grinding. When she saw you call, she didn't mind it. No, I would say I apologize, but I might do it again. By the time you hear this song, girl, I plan on. Cause I got home late again. You snatched off my glasses when you asked me where the hell you been. I've been sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking. Oh, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking. I just can't stop creeping. Hey, yeah. You should walk away from me. Even when I say I don't wanna lose you. Even when the niggas say don't wanna lose you. Ladies, don't every other nigga say he don't wanna lose you. I got a good girl, I don't wanna lose you. Sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking. Oh, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking, sneaking and geeking. I just can't stop creeping. Stop creeping, yeah. You should walk away from me. Even when I say I don't wanna lose you. I don't wanna lose you. I know I got a good girl. I don't wanna lose you, baby. Yeah. I don't wanna lose you. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's Cheetah's Anthem. It's actually the first track on the new project, to be honest, on all platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, in a YouTube playlist as well.
I'll be buying that. Thank you.
And that's also the theme song for the rest of my life.
And mine too.
Just forever. Just Cheater's Anthem. I'm actually gonna make it my ringtone.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think I might have to do a little video to that.
Just Paul, come on down, man. And by the way, shout out to Vega Entertainment for booking the project and having us all set up to meet today.
Yeah.
I would ask you this. My first question is, and this is just directly your interview. We know that you've gone from like a battle rapper, and you somehow and you switched over to R&B, or like an R&B mix. How did that happen?
I think the R&B was always inside, and I think to an extent I wasn't. At one point, it wasn't a comfortable thing. All right, so born and raised in D.C., right? We ain't have
what part? Shout them out.
Southeast. You
there
gotta know.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Anacostia, Congress Heights, Hillcrest Heights, that whole southeast side, the heart and soul of the city right there. You know what I mean? And a little bit of that Prince George's County, Ward 9, Oxon Hill.
There it goes.
And so I grew up on go-go, and the only rap that we had was Tupac, popular rap that we listen to, Tupac and Scarface. And so growing up, you didn't really, everybody wasn't into being a singer. Only singer that, the streets that we really talked about a lot was Weensy from Backyard, right? So I think outside of that, I still had the influence from my grandmother and whatnot, the Black American music around me to say singing is a thing. And I knew I could sing. I found out I could really sing when Usher came out with You Make Me Wanna. And I think I was like 9 years old, and I was singing that, and I was singing the Jackson 5 or Wanna Be Where You Are. So that was there. But then once I started getting, you know what it was? It was the battle rap for real. Because battle rap is so masculine, you don't never want to go and sing. You know what I mean? And so all that battle rap actually turned into activism rap, which was tight. Shout out to American Lung Association and DC Tobacco Free Families. And then I think high school and the girls and my hormones.
That transition a lot more easy.
Yeah, it really did though. Yeah, that was a thing. That's really what happened. And and I got to really tap into those influences that I may have publicly ignored. You know what I mean? Magic 102.3. I grew up on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hanging with your friends, you're not about to be
Turn
Turn that joint on real quick.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was cut it to 95.5. Let them crank some of that go-go. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing. So it's just a matter of evolution, I think. I evolved into this. I really did. I really evolved into it.
All right, sounds good. Do you see, with the changes that are happening within the city, and we're going to get to, my other host in a minute, but with the changes that are happening in the city, and you see the changes, obviously, we've gone from, a place where we can go buy certain things to where there are nice condos now. And, we see, we're seeing electric scooters. We're seeing all this stuff. We're seeing capital bike shares everywhere. We're seeing this millennial yoga mat change in the city.
Oh, you going there.
I'm going there. I'm asking. So where do you see the city as far as music? Do you think the city's going to lose its musical favor? We've already kind of slightly, and not we as in me, but like the city itself is kind of trying to politely move away from go-go and not act like they're not. But where do you see the city moving as far as the musical influences?
I'm going to start my answer to that question by saying this. This city's future was already ordained by the people who put it together. They knew they was going to turn this into a powerhouse city. It's supposed to be a powerhouse city, not just politically, but they wanted people to feel good about living here. You know what I mean? You go look at those old houses on GW Parkway. Them joints look at the view. You know what I mean? But as time builds and other cities start to thrive, everybody's like, oh shoot, well we gotta have that. Oh, we gotta have that. And we gotta have this. And then you start to do that thing. Now the music, I'm gonna tell you one thing about go-go. Go-go ain't going nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? It's been getting bigger and bigger right up under people's noses. You go to a go-go this Friday and it's gonna be packed. You know what I'm saying? It's just all a matter of whether your ass go to them or not. You know what I mean? And the music itself, not just the go-go scene, but the go-go music itself has always lived. It lives in Jill Scott's It's Love. It lives in Ludacris Pimping All Over the World. It lives on Beyonce's Countdown. And it'll continue to keep being used but not acknowledged fully on the mainstream level. But that's cool because you go to a show where they got live instrument, at some point that band gonna play some go-go. Especially you go to a jazz show. A. Marie, you dig? I just came from doing a tour with Elijah Balbed in Russia while we performing jazz and go-go for the U.S. State Department. This is never gonna die. It's never gonna die. Never. You know what I mean?
It's always gonna have a following. It's like the underground mixtape scene. It's not well known. You got the purists that wants to still hear it, that know where to go for it. Like I'm a go head from the late '90s, early 2000s. So this stuff nowadays, I really can't feel. I can listen to it, but I got to go back to an old '95 backyard or something like that. When I really want to get in that go-go
You need
feel.
that pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't trying to
you
slow
can't
bounce.
get that nowhere else. You can't get that in music nowhere else but
you
in
can't.
go-go. And that's why it's always going to, it's resonate in this area. Unfortunately, it can't get out by, I'm not even going to get into all that. That's a whole nother show right there. But, go-go is always going to have its place in the city and the DMV because it's the heart and soul of this area, honestly.
Yep.
Going back to Chuck Brown, if you really want to get deep.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's never going to die, but it's never going to reach that peak where everybody be like, oh, man, turn that joint up if you out of town. But you still go out of town, you play some go-go, you'll get some folks like, hey, what's that?
It's funny.
It's crazy.
It's funny because people do say, oh, turn it up, but they don't know that they're telling you to turn up go-go. As soon as the first song I said was Jill Scott, It's Love. And as soon as that song come, if that song was to come on right now and it was heard low and we wasn't on the radio show, somebody be like, hey, turn the radio up a little bit because that's definitely the jam. It's go-go. It just, people don't always acknowledge it as that. We acknowledge that song as R&B soul because it's Jill Scott. She's an R&B soul artist. You see what I'm saying? That might be the thing though. Until people will have to come out as a go-go artist on a mainstream level. Like how EU and Sugar Bear did when they did the soundtrack on Do the Right
School
Thing.
Day. Was it School
It was Do the
Day?
Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing and School Day.
And School Day.
Yeah, it started with School Day.
Yeah, my bad.
Right thing. Well, that's kind of getting into the sticky history of go-go with EU, and they, I know I'm gonna say something that's very unpopular to most of the go-go, but they had a rite of passage to try to bridge it out for other go-go bands to get on, and they took a selfish spin and didn't get other folks on, and when they rode their wave and then when it died out, that's kind of why go-go didn't get out there. I know a lot of folks are going to probably shoot me down for saying this, but this is my opinion. It's not fact. It's just the way I feel.
But it's kind of, not to cut you off, it's kind of fact because if you look at Chuck Brown's Unsung on TV, they were handed a major deal, but he had to change some of the instruments or they had to do it a certain way. You know how the labels do you. And they said, no, we're going to keep, what we built.
They was trying to make it into an electronic. They was trying to make it electronic, man. And go-go not always. Go-go has its electricity in it. We use keyboards. They like just dragging a organ up to every venue. You know what I'm saying? But when you start saying, well, use the 808s, it's like, I don't need the 808s. I got these bollies over here. You know what I'm saying? They go right along with this drum set. And everybody in this joint going to be sweating in about 30 minutes. You just watch. You know what I'm saying? So, but how that translates onto a radio might not always fit with people.
It's kind of like hockey. You got to be there to experience it live first, and then once you see it first live, then you can appreciate watching it on TV.
That is a perfect example.
I'm a diehard hockey fan. I'm a diehard hockey fan. I try to explain to my brothers like that all the time, but they just go over their head.
Boom, right over the head.
Yeah, man.
Sheeta P, any questions for Just Paul?
So, how was the experience, going to London with the Blackbirds and being a part of that? How can you explain to us, some of those?
You ain't know we knew. You ain't know we knew.
Yeah.
You ain't know we knew, Just Paul. You ain't know we knew about that.
Yeah, let me say this. We say that they drive on the wrong side of the street. We driving on the wrong side of the street. Shout out to London. Actually, it's crazy because I can do a shameless plug here. We're doing Paris and London between the 17th and the 23rd of this month. And so shout out to Jazz Cafe in London and all the jazz fans and Just Paul fans out there, Blackbirds fans, everybody, people who just love music. Shout out to all of y'all over there. It's a lot of love for music. Like if somebody was to, somebody like Just Paul was to just go and start to build a go-go scene in London, that joint will really happen. They'll pick that joint right up.
Let's do it. Let's go.
We should.
Yeah, let's go.
They will pick it up in
my passport tomorrow.
about a month. I wanted to get I needed to get a new passport today, but I couldn't because somebody had a birthday today.
because the feds had a government shutdown day and they teleworked. That's the ones that had to work.
It ain't like they said something yesterday and made like a big deal out of it and told everybody that was gonna be a thing today. I wish they would have warned me. That's my only
It was
thing.
that big for real? You couldn't get a passport?
passport office was
the
closed.
whole federal government was shut down today. And they were paid for it because that's what happens to federal government workers.
Navy federal ATMs wasn't working or nothing. I couldn't get on 295 South. Man, young time out, man. He ain't even George Bush ain't even kicked it in Southeast. I can't get on.
I never heard of
295 South.
the 21 ATM salute. That's a new one.
Just for the record, before we go to CP3, I would say just Paul, if we all do go to London, I'm just there for the white women, okay?
Ooh, if that's what you're there for, then you bring an extra bag with you. If that's what you're there for. Bring an extra bag.
CP3.
You mentioned
Bring an extra bag.
I'm there for all men. It doesn't matter.
See, women got it sweet too because men go into London thinking, okay, white women. But women go into London like all types of men. That's a common thing the way you said that because they be looking for the African dudes, all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all just like to do. Women just like London dudes' accents. I'm trying to pick the accent out. I need to move out there.
You can say anything with that accent that's going to fly over. Yeah. You can hit it with the pimp line. Bitch, you better have my money. It's still going to sound fly with an English accent.
I can't even pick it up.
She won't get offended. She's like, here you go, daddy. It's not even going to be a problem.
Here you go, daddy.
I'm practicing getting that English accent.
Let me hear your English accent right quick.
Mine?
I don't
Now,
have
she does.
I ain't got one.
You got to work on it. You're going to get one.
Yeah, no, you don't understand. Donald Trump is president. I don't need an accent.
Is it like this? Is it something like this?
They might. I don't want
That's
them
pretty
to.
good.
I don't want them to mistake me for a Nigerian.
Yeah, we might
I need to get back. I
exactly.
need to get back home.
That's exactly
If they mistake you for a Nigerian, then I'm scared.
Nah, they could. They could.
CP3, your next question for Just Paul.
You mentioned Jackson 5 was some of your influence. What other? I'm an old school cat. So what other old school influences you had? That in the R&B world.
You knew Uncle Charlie. Who said Uncle Charlie? You knew that because of the performance, the way I sing.
Yeah.
All right.
And I looked you up.
Oh, snap. My brother.
Southeast too, bro.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie for sure. I'm what's the word, like I'm challenged by Lenny Williams. His range is man. I know I can't sing that, but that's the type of singing, and this is for other male R&B artists. Y'all know, we sing Lenny Williams in the shower. Mm-hmm. That we ain't gonna sing that in front of everybody because we can't hit those notes. You can't hit those notes.
I even try to hit those notes in the shower.
Yeah.
And I ain't got no business trying.
Yeah, you can't hit those notes. So he's definitely at the top. Wincy from Backyard, man. Very consistent singer.
Yeah.
Very consistent. I don't know how he doing it, young. They perform 4 or 5 times a week. How old am I? I'm 29. They've been performing for how long? He been singing for a long time. Every night, Like Wincy from Backyard, that is a salute, And I hope he get this part of this interview. Him, oh man, that's like one of my biggest influences. And if you're a singer from DC and that's not your influence, something's wrong with you.
I do have a random question before we play your last song, Just Paul. One of your newest hits. I was just contacted and someone asked and said, I bet he went to Ballou High School.
Disrespectful.
It just happened.
Tell him they disrespectful. I went to Anna. Oi, tell him all that in that way. You disrespectful. He went to Anna. Oi, you gotta put oi at the end of it.
You gotta send the backhand emoji.
You went to Anna. You went to Blue?
Yep.
Oh man, just when I thought we was friends.
It was all good just a week ago.
It was all
good.
And any closing thoughts, Just Paul?
Closing thoughts. To be honest, it's on all platforms. It's an amazing project. It's like a 2019 Usher Confessions with samples and dope drums on it. Produced entirely by a guy named Chris Wright of the Directors and mixed and mastered by Dave Knox. So I got two giants to come off their mountain to put their touches on my project so I can tell a story about being a dog and still loving something.
Awesome.
Folks, we're gonna play us out here with and just what's that last song?
Ooh, play One and Only. We playing stuff from the project, baby. This song is called One and Only, inspired by the beautiful women of Turks and Caicos and the fun that I had out there. One and Only. This is my island track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, folks, thanks for coming out. Thanks for joining us right here live, Tru Radio, WLVS Radio. And it's game time. Oh, we're peace signing it again.
I'll holla.
Peace sign, monkey. Oh,
To be honest.
was that a gang sign?
Gang sign.
To be honest.